Hi, welcome. In this video, I want to provide an update regarding Zach George and the dog daddy. And right now I'm actually taking some stuff to the local Goodwill. But here's the thing is, what should be along in here being, taken to, gotten rid of is this bribery-based idea that Zach George promotes. I mean, that should be in here as well. But here's the thing. Again, we talk about Zach George trying to incite the mob, so to speak, on social media. You have these, protests happening in Toronto and Canada, where I'm from. And I find it interesting, again, Zach George saying, well, he doesn't want to get personal, doesn't, want to cause people any harm, like the dog daddy. Well, that statement is totally opposite to what he's trying to do here. And don't get me wrong, here's the thing. I talk about the problems with the methodology of individuals like the dog daddy and even, Caesar's, approach in terms of, why that's problematic. But again, in terms of what the solution is, understand that, whether it's Zach George, whether it's a balance trainer or any other of these individuals, they're not talking about what the real problem is. I talk about how the optics of these situations are being exploited by ideologues like Zach George, who are just trying to take these situations to exploit for their own agenda. And again, I talk about the issue about bribery, okay, being the source of the problem in the dog training world. Well, that is the problem. Understand, that's the number one problem in the dog training world, is bribery-based methodology, which again opens the door completely wide open for relationships between dogs owners not to change. Not to change. I talk about how influence is part of a process, defining that process by way of a intervention. But again, understand that you're seeing all this stuff happening in the dog training world. You're seeing, again, these situations escalating. You're seeing an escalation, which is totally predictable if you understand what's really happening. But again, my encouragement to anyone looking what's happening is to see beyond this stuff. Look at these situations, such as Jeff Gellman Bonker is very similar to this situation, with how those who are bribery based pile on. But here's the thing, even balanced dog trainers are doing this, piling on. So to try to sort through all of it to say, okay, what's the problem here? Well, the problem is the fact that in terms of what a process is, there's so much confusion because all these trainers are marketing this belief system. That's really what it is. This is why you talk about guys like Zach George trying to say, oh, it's the science of dog training. That's totally ridiculous. This is not science. This is a belief system. Look at the problems inherent. And that's why Zach George, look at his video content. There's a reason for everything. Can't show anything because he's not marketing himself that way. But here's the thing, he's getting away with this, okay? Because balanced dog trainers, they've given guys like Zach George a free pass since the beginning, because they themselves are in agreement, okay, with approaching training as a learning-based exercise. Understand that. And so how can you give, just really think about this. It's so incredible people aren't applying critical thinking here. How can, as balanced dog trainers, how can they give, forestry trainers a ideological free pass, saying, well, there's more than one way to train a dog, and they're pumping up, they're saying all these nice things, and then suddenly, oh, they're radicals, and they're trying to call them out. You can't do that. That doesn't even make sense. But what's happening makes sense. Okay, what you understand that balanced dog trainers they've built off of this flawed idea. They're in a catch-22 situation. So this is why they're talking about both sides of their mouth. They've been playing the ideological fence for years. So again, as you see these things escalate, it's going to get to a point, where the forestry movement is definitely going to get taking over, and not a good thing. But balanced dog trainers, they're in bad shape, okay? You're trying to see, they're talking with each other all over social media. It's a joke. So all to say that, I would encourage anyone watching my videos, you can share them or whatever, but I'm just telling them the way it is. There's a reason why both these groups don't like what I'm saying. Okay, I mean, think about that. That should tell you something right there. You know, I mean, why are you getting upset, right? I'm saying, here's the problem. No one's actually talking about the problem because they can't. So this is just a rigged game. Everything happening is just part of the course. And you're going to continue to see things escalate in the dog training world. Thanks for watching.